It's been one sleep since our last emotional event. It was over this. The dinner I made last night was hash brown casserole. Son said he was ready to eat. I dished him some up. An emotional event hit him like a truck. Completely blindsided the poor little guy over the fact that he wanted the circle things on the top. He only wanted the circle things on the top. He didn't want the bottom part. And I told him it's a casserole. That's not how we eat casserole. We eat casserole all the layers. I dished him up. There's your plate. You can pick the circle things off of yours. He said, no, I want only circle things on my plate. I don't want the other part on my plate. We're not going to do that. It's pretty late. You also already ate another dinner. So I'm not worried whatsoever if you eat any of this right now. How about we just go brush your teeth and go to bed? He stayed upset. Kept right on with it. Was not able to calm down. I got him ready for bed. I laid down next to him, held his hand, and he was asleep within 3 minutes. And I will admit, when he was upset, crying himself to sleep over circle things on the top,
Tater tots.
talking to myself in my brain, like, Menzie, don't you think you're being kind of a hard so upset? And I was like, no, he's not so upset because your boundary was so ridiculous. He's crying because he's overtired, because he's been awake for 14 hours, and me letting him have all the tater tots off the top of our tater tot casserole, it wouldn't have changed the fact in that moment his needs weren't met. He was crashing. I can't save him from that crash. When they need sleep, they need sleep. They don't need you to give in to all of their whims. When they're overtired, they can become extra particular, extra picky. Wanting to pick something off the top of food is very out of character for my kid. He knows we don't do that because if you pick all of it off the top, then none's left for everybody else. It's just kind of rude. It's kind of mean. I know some things are your favorite. You're allowed to have favorite things. Have your plate, it's dished up. You can choose what on that plate you do consume and what you don't. No one's making you eat anything or not letting you eat anything. You have control over that. If my kid's needs were met and his nervous system was regulated, I would say, we're not picking tater tots off the top. He would say, okay. When a simple boundary like that turns into an extreme emotional event, I want you to understand it's because their needs are not met. It's not because you're not a good parent, and it's not because they're not a good kid. I can guarantee you, whatever that's about should not be the focus right now. He tried to convince me with all of the convincing power that he had. Just get him a plate and fill it full of tater tots. That is him desperately trying to regulate his nervous system. Control something trivial because he's struggling controlling himself and his emotions, because it feels like the world is ending. He's feeling all of that, and that's valid. That's okay to feel all that. But I, as the parent, do need to know when the trigger is actually a problem or when it's just the messenger. So often, the trigger is just the messenger. All it's doing is letting you know, hey, needs aren't met. They need regulation. If you don't prioritize regulation for them, you're gonna get more dysregulated. And of course, that's not good for anyone. I have to say, this casserole turned out so good. Very free, and I don't know if you can tell how it almost looks cheesy, but there's no cheese in it because I'm a genius. God, it's even better the next day.